Alright, Lions, so today we're going to try out the brand new characters released in Brave Souls. In this case, we have access to 3 new lieutenants from, of course, the 1000-year Blood War arc. But first up, we're going to have a look at Nemu. Nemu had a really big episode in 1000-year Blood War where she did face off against Pineda. It's one of my favorite moments in the anime. It was super emotional. And I kind of have very fun feelings of this character, especially when the original one released at this point back in 2020. She was one of my first ever max transcendent characters, so to see her get a new character and be also really good is kind of exciting. One thing I do want to point out though when comparing this character to the original one is more so the character design changing. Of course, it's the same design. The difference here, though, is the colors, and it mostly just highlights how Killer went down a different route versus how the anime adapted this design of Nemu. The biggest difference is the item that Nemu is wearing around her waist. It is now red. It's very similar to what she is wearing around her neck. Originally, I didn't have a problem with it, but it does now look weird that she is wearing pretty much the same item around her neck and also waist, and in the manga version, it was 2 different colors. And also, I guess now in the anime version, she doesn't wear socks, I guess. But either way, Nemu is a speed holo Killer Plus unit with quite a lot going on for her. In terms of her Soul Train EX ability, it's actually pretty decent, and I like it because it doesn't require duplicates in a way to get better. Again, when it comes to EX skills that were introduced during the 10th anniversary, they get better with duplicates. And in the case for Nemu, she is offering Devastation, which is Sobon damage, but that doesn't really do anything super crazy. At Max Transcendence, it is at level 30. At Special level 1, minus currently 2, it is at level 18. The Recharge as an EX skill is just 12% recharge no matter what duplicate value you have. And then the soul trait is 32%, which is actually really good, again, if you don't get duplicates. Now, Berserker as an EX skill is actually really good because it does multiply based on your base Berserker and offers potentially more than 30% Berserker. This strong attack damage soul trait doesn't, but it also means that you are just getting 30% straight away without any need of duplicates. So it's good and bad. Overall, I don't dislike the EX skill, but I'm not the biggest fan of Devastation as an EX skill. Now, when we have a look at Nemu's kit, what you are going to see is that she can inflict lacerate on every single attack. Her SA2 is a superior strong attack, so it does deal more damage. And then her EX move is a 50% spiritual pressure boost. One of the best EX moves in the game, not the best variation of it because she's not an end-of-year character. She is, for the most part, a standard end-of-month unit. So it's only increasing the SP boost by 50% instead of the usual 100% that characters like 9th Anniversary Kenpachi, Fullbring Bankai Ichigo, and Bankai Renji have, for example. But when we have a look at the character's damage output, the character does have Friendly plus 2, free in guild quests. She does have a 70% strong attack damage increase, an 80% devastation, so that's actually relatively high, and of course an 80% spiritual pressure boost once you do inflict a status ailment, in this case lacerate, against any enemy, but keep in mind she does have an increased chance to inflict status ailments against hollows. She is also one of the few rare characters to come with the Soul Reaper Resonance skill, which means anytime a Soul Reaper is in her lobby or in her team, she is getting 10% more strong attack damage. Now keep in mind it does count for herself, so she's always guaranteed 10% extra strong attack damage, but if you throw in 2 other Soul Reapers like we have right now, you do get upwards to 30%. Overall, despite the guild quest skills technically holding her back outside of guild quests, I would have liked to have seen Friendly plus 3 everywhere. She's a very strong character. I'll probably repeat it a few times in the video, especially when it's relevant. But what I would have liked to have seen change with this character, you know, forget the damage output, the Frenzy plus 3 outside of guild quests. I would have just liked to have seen more flash steps and maybe long stride built in. Because you'll see when it comes to the guild quest section of the video, having those extra flash steps would have been really, really good to have. More mobility is never a bad thing. I know I can give her long stride through bonus abilities, but in a way, one of the great things about Nemu having lacerate is that you actually can just give her full stamina and damage to lacerated enemies as bonus abilities, as it does offer 40% more damage instead of the usual 20% that most other bonus abilities offer. So if you are wondering how to build Nemu in terms of bonus abilities, go with full stamina and long stride, or full stamina and damage to lacerated enemies depending on the content that you are playing against. For me right now, until we get to guild quest, we are going to go with damage at full stamina and also long stride, because I like having that extra mobility on my characters. Now, in terms of how we're going to build Nemu today, we're going to keep it very simple, go with as much strong attack damage and spiritual pressure as possible. And then for the soul traits, I'm personally giving her my best soul traits with a mixture of full stamina, strong attack damage, and also recharge. Overall, though, we're getting around 2,000 extra SP just from the links alone. Alright, so first up, let's have a look at the character's strong attack that she does have, right? So her SA1 is going to be a lunge forward, which is also pretty good. Her SA2 is another lunge forward, so a very similar kit to what's her name, Yoruichi, that released last month. And then her full screen is going to, or her SA3, sorry, is going to be a full screen. So a pretty good strong attack here. I do like the double lunge into a full screen. It's something that we don't see too often. Although again, funny enough, we did see it back to back last month and also this month. I'm a big fan of the strong attack 3 that she does have, because it is using GIKON JURINJU. Hopefully I said that right. It's a really cool attack, translates into a really good summon that we are about to see. But I don't dislike seeing it again in the strong attack 3, because it's kind of rare for us to have a character appear across the screen in the strong attack 3. But it happens sometimes. So strong attack kit wise, it's good. It's good. I think the range, or more so the lunge distance on the strong attack 1 and 2 could be better. But it's fine. It's fine, honestly. And then her EX move is an aura around her, which, as you can see there, also can do some pretty good damage. It does further increase our spiritual pressure boost to around 260%, which is really good, and it is indicated by the aura effect, which I do like. Now, this is the... really good sub-on, by the way. I didn't want to speak over it. It seems like we need to put on some items to hit hidden enemies, but the EX move, it's the fourth canon character to have this EX move, which does have the aura around them. The last 3 times it's been relevant, because every character that did have the aura around them actually did in the episodes. But I don't recall Nemu having this type of aura around it in the episode, but maybe she did. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. Not like it matters, but I do like the effect, because it just makes them look a bit cooler, and it's a good indicator to know when that increased SP boost is active. Either way, in that particular quest, we did take a few hits, a bit too often in my opinion, but that was more of the demonstration run, so let's try that again. This time we are going to give her the bonus ability to hit hidden enemies. That way we can just clear a tad bit faster. Our damage output is going to be lowered a tad bit, but for this quest it's pretty much fine. Alright then, so jumping into our second attempt, let's see how this does go. So unfortunately we don't have an increased Asthma chance here, which kind of sucks, but it should be fine. Let's use our SA3. So you can see that we actually haven't even got an SP boost once yet. We finally get it now. And we do inflict lash rate on the enemy, which is really good. So when do I want to use my EX boost? I'm not entirely too sure. Good damage there. SA3 into the 2. Not like we're doing super crazy damage. I think I'm definitely noticing the lack of Frenzy +3 outside of guild quests compared to the characters we have showcased post 10th anniversary. So again, similar criticism I would have liked to have seen at Frenzy +3 everywhere. Let's use our SA3. But again, we also have the EX move to make up for it, so that does actually increase our damage output, assuming I have the SP boost, like there, for example. But I need to know when to use my Soul Bomb. Can use it now, because we get to use it twice. SA3 there, into the 1, and then SA2. And that was also about having full stamina damage, so keep that in mind. We did lose a lot of damage there. Still going to clear pretty fast regardless, and we should Soul Bomb all the way through here, right? I'm going to let the Soul Bomb play out, because I really like it. Again, the one great thing that we have been seeing with canon Blood War units this year and also last year is, damn, we didn't kill him, is a really good Soul Bomb animations. When the episodes are well animated, or more so when the move itself is well animated, it translates into really good looking Soul Bombs. Some of the best that we have seen in this game. Personally, I'm really liking the impact frames that Nemu does have. It's actually kind of cool looking. So in that case, 1 minute clear time. Let's try it again without this time taking any hits. Alright, tip number 3, let's go. Let's use our strong attack 1. Into the 2. Can we SA3 without taking damage? Nice. And the SA1 does have a lot more range than it potentially looks like, by the way. Because we did use it on the boss there, and the enemy behind also took some damage. In this case, let's use our strong attack 3. Because I know Ginjo's about to spawn in. And then let's use our EX now, just to also kill 2, because that can also deal some pretty good damage. Again, you saw that it pretty much one-shot the boss. Let's Soul Bomb here. With the SP boost EX move, it does actually one-shot, which is good. And then we're SA3. The lack of an increased Asthma chance is noteworthy here, or noticeable more so here, just because we aren't got up against any hollows. Because we should have been able to one-shot that there. And then SA3. Pretty good damage, because we did get the SP boost. Lovely. And then we pretty much are done here, when we get the Soul Bomb and also SA2. I actually then ended up skipping it there. And there we go, not too bad. And in that case, it looks a bit better, very relevant to the character that we have been showcasing in the past. 46 seconds remaining. You probably could get that down to a sub 40, maybe a 30-second clear time, but with no hollow enemies, this might be the best you're going to get, unless maybe I perfect the strong attack pattern. Again, compared to the past characters, it's very similar. Tad bit slower, around 10 seconds slower. But that also just could be due to the strong attacks that she does have and the layouts of the enemies. But I'm pretty sure Yoruichi and maybe even Nini was able to get around 30 plus seconds remaining, around 35. Not that big of a deal, but something small and worth noting. Next up, let's take Nemu into the Mayuri Ultimate Epic Raid, where right now I believe the enemy has around 70 million HP, but it feels well appropriate using Nemu to beat Mayuri. Maybe not, I don't think she's too happy about it, but with that said, keep in mind Nemu of course is a 3 times damage dealing character, so this month she is going to be great. Although to a certain extent, more so to show how good Yachiru is, she's also going to be really good in this Epic Raid. Unironically, maybe even better. One, because you might have a Max Transcended, but also because she does have Sniper and Captain Killer. But regardless, you have 2 good speed characters, 2 good speed Snipers in particular, because remember, Nemu gets better the more Snipers that are in her lobby. So in Epic Raid, she can pick up an extra 60% strong attack damage. So for our first attempt, we are only going to do 1 try as a solo run, mostly because the way this character, of course, does work, only frenzy +2 outside of guild quests. And the fact that her increased talisman chance is tied behind hollow enemies, it's going to be a bit rough doing a solo run, which we usually do. Again, this is just for the fun of it, just to see how the character works in epic raids. By themselves, can we clear fast? Sometimes it doesn't always go the way, especially because the way the character's damage output is all about inflicting status elements. And when you can't reliably inflict it, even if your damage output's good, sometimes it's a bit hard to get a fast clear time. So even though we can't clear fast by ourselves, it's kind of fine. You're not really doing solo runs to begin with, right? But I like testing out to see how fast they can clear if everything goes their way. Because right now you'll see we can only inflict status elements when the enemy isn't attacking. So we can use strong attacks now, but it's not going to really amount to anything besides just add a couple extra damage to the board. So we did get the SP boost there. Lovely. Did get another status proc there. That's actually really good. Now, I haven't played this epic raid much, but I've done a decent job at avoiding the attacks thus far. It doesn't seem too bad, but it kind of feels a bit hectic for a normal epic raid. At least in my opinion. So it'll be a good opportunity if we can get an SP boost. We do. Unfortunately, not straight away. That SA2 could have definitely killed there. And then we're going to finish up with the SA1. So you're looking at like a minute clear time by herself. And this is pretty much Nemu at her worst, because again, you should be playing co-op, you should be having people join your lobby, and that way, if there's more Snipers in your lobby... That's her animation at the end? Okay. That's kind of funny. What was she doing there? I'm sure it's a reference to something in the anime. I can't remember. Let's just give me a credit card. And by the way, this is recorded out of order. So I'm recording the epic raid part first. But this is coming after the co-op section. Alright then, so loading up our first co-op lobby. In this case, shout out to these people. We do have 4 Snipers, including myself, in the team. So all Nemusi are getting 40% strong attack damage. We do have a no affiliation and also a ranker enemy in our team. So that's not really helping us out, but it's fine. You know, when you're playing full lobby, it should be relatively good. We also do have a beginner in our lobby, so we are getting that extra damage. Now, my strategy there was to use my EX, then Soul Bomb, but there was a bit of a delay, and we weren't quite able to get the SP boost, because, again, the enemy started attacking. You can't inflict status when the enemy is attacking. At least lacerate, you can't. So that's a bit unfortunate for us. We have lost out a lot of damage there, because I wasn't quite able to get the SP boost. So hopefully we can get it sometime soon. We actually brute forced our way through that. That's nice to see. Let me use my SA2. Probably didn't need to use it there. So the run's going to go a lot faster if I can get my SP boost. That's pretty much the whole thing. Oh, damn, I somehow dodged that attack. Didn't mean to. Again, really like that strong attack free. Especially given that Nemu, even though she is doing attacks that she did do in the anime. Oh. It's not like she has, like, so many iconic attacks that they can make, like, a good set of strong attacks, but I think they did a pretty decent job. So, we actually cleared a tad bit fast there. 48 seconds in this case, but I didn't get my SP boost a single time. Which, again, isn't a problem with Nemu. That's just a thing with every character, right? Especially when you don't have your increased talisman chance. Maybe if we did have Frenzy +3, it would have helped out a tad bit, because then more hits, more chance to inflict status elements, but it's kind of a shame that my Storm at the start didn't quite hit the enemy before he started attacking. Alright then, so for our second co-op lobby, we do have access to a few Yachirus, 1 Nemu, and also a Rukia, so we are getting 50% strong attack damage here, which is actually really good. We do have an R-Skin, which again isn't boosting our damage output, but he is a team booster, so that should actually help out, increase our stats. Shouldn't be too bad. And if you are playing this epic raid with no, like, really good damage dealing character, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, I need to time my Soul Bomb at a later time because I'm not taking advantage of this SP boost. Because we're using the EX, but again, I don't have an SP boost. It's pretty much doing nothing. So we're definitely going to do another run. And I'm only going to use my EX move once we do inflict a status on it. So let's just use our strong attacks here. Back up the way. We are doing really good damage though. So that's nice to see, even though I haven't gotten an SP boost once in a single game. Or the last 2 games that we've done. My voice going there. We surprisingly haven't been hit yet though. So at least that's good. I'm doing something well. Oh, damn, never mind. That came out of nowhere. Oh, we finally got the SP boost. Unfortunately, it's when I take a hit. Let's back out the way. Get into the middle. All right, we're clearing a bit faster there, but I don't think I'm contributing much since I'm not getting my SP boost. And for our final run, this time we have a full lobby of nothing but Sniper, so we are getting our max damage potential. And we also, shout out to that lad, we do have a Ichigo in our team. So remember, he is a really good team support for Snipers. He's giving us like 50% more damage, so that's going to be really good. Let me use my SA1. We actually got the SP boost straight away. Follow that up with the SA3. Really good damage there. Let's soap on. Then use our 2. Look at that. That's when it gets a bit crazy. When you can take advantage of the SP boost. And also EX move. Look at that. See, when it goes well, you get a 9-second clear time. We actually got really lucky there, actually inflicting a stat element on our strong attack. So that is probably like the best perfect run to end it on. And again, that, Ichigo in our lobby, shout out to this lad, actually increased our damage output. Everyone's damage output. Besides our Wetsu. I mean, technically his damage output was increased when he was attacking an enemy that was inflicted by a stat element, but again, his damage output is all about not hitting enemies with stat elements. So it was decreased, but it was also increased at the same time. After that, now let's take Nemu into a guild quest, where right now, keep in mind, we might not be able to get, like, the most amazing score, and that's not a problem with the character, because, of course, in this game mode, she is going to perform very well with Frenzy +3. During our initial attempt run that we were doing on the live stream, it took us quite a while to beat it, and it kind of gives you a negative impression of the character. That's not because she is bad or anything, it's just due to the fact that this guild quest, even with Nemu, is super overtuned. The enemy HP pool is ridiculous, even for, again, a character like Nemu, but if you do want to beat it, Nemu is a great character to have. Now, the team that we are building isn't the greatest, but we are currently using Nemu and also Kensei as our normal attack damage dealing character, and then we are currently using Akon to give us a 20% strong attack damage and also a 40% damage output once we do inflict an enemy with a status element. Now we do have the Mugetsu Soul Tree equipped, but that doesn't actually stack with the Akon buff, so let's just give him as much last ditch survival as possible. That way he can stay alive, so once we do get into the extra waves, we can get that extra 10 seconds, because we're definitely going to need it. Now, in terms of how we are building the character, we are going with this particular build. Keep in mind, when you are using characters at 1 out of 5 in Guild Quest, technically it's better to go with the focus strategy. I'm not going to do that for the time being. We're just going to keep it simple, spiritual pressure, because that's what most people are going to do. But then the links are pretty much the exact same, and then our bonus abilities is full stamina and again damage to lacerated enemies as our bonus abilities. With Kensei, this is the exact build. We're making sure he is immune to poison with the handmade rice ball, give him as much normal attack damage as possible, 2 out of 5, and then also for his bonus abilities, we also gave damage to lacerated enemies, because again, you can do that, and it gives you 40% more damage. Now, I've yet to figure out the best strategy in terms of attack pattern, but I do like using my EX move straight away. Use our SA1, then 3. We normally should kill here, but unfortunately we didn't get the status proc straight away, so not the best first attempt. SA1 does take out Hachigun, and then what I like to do is use SA1 Soul Bomb, kind of let all the enemies come together, and then SA3. We do get the SP boost. Now, the unfortunate thing here that I'm not too excited about with Nemu is that her last rate only lasts 2 seconds. Now, that's completely normal for a character that only has last rate, but it does mean that it's kind of annoying dealing with enemies like Full Hollow Ichigo and Aizen that have ridiculous range on their strong attacks. So when we were attempting it yesterday, we took a lot of damage and it ruined a lot of runs, because we do take a hit like that, for example. It can cost you the run, especially more so in the extra waves. Because we did take a hit there. It's fine, because we do get to recover stamina since all 3 allies are alive. So hopefully this time, we don't take a hit. But the last rate doesn't last too long. The Kensei also keep in mind can inflict weakening, which does actually help our damage output. We want to make sure we just stay away and constantly inflict lacerate. Let's do that SA1 there. In a way, the 2-second lacerate is kind of decent in the sense that you actually can get your SP boost back pretty quick. So if we use our EX now, we do a lot of damage there. SA1. Kenzie should hopefully defeat Ichigo there. But you'll see there, for example, even with Nemu, it's quite difficult because, again, you just have to do so much damage. Like, this is not a slight on Nemu. It's just this GQ is just ridiculous. It's very similar to Nini when she first came out. Made her look really bad. And it's not that she was bad, it's just that the Guild Quest has so much HP when compared to past ones. So, first attempt, we at least did get to Extra Wave 4. Didn't do any damage against the boss, but let's retry that. The main goal is that we want to clear the first 5 waves a tad bit faster, so we have an extra 10 seconds to take down the final boss. That's really all we need once we have the SP boost and also the EX move activated. So we go for our second attempt. Again, we're going to instantly activate the EX move. Let's SA3 and then 1. Either strategy works. We can use SA1 into the 2. We actually do one shot there. That's actually really good. So let's soul bomb now. Try and sit far back. We don't want to do too much. We don't get too close more so. Kensei does do good there. SA1 into the 2. Don't think we got an SP boost or an EX move. Sorry, lacerate straight away. So in this case, we kind of played a bit too fast. Now I have no strong attack ready. And we also didn't get lacerate on the enemy. Now keep in mind, lacerate does stop the enemies from attacking, which is also really good. But Aizen is such a menace to deal with right now. Him and also Follower Ichigo, which are the 2 EX bosses. It's rough because they have such good range. So let's SA3. Let's SA2. We do good damage there. We're going to kind of back up here. Once we see Aizen use an attack, we're going to go in. It's kind of hard right now for us to keep Kensei at full stamina. Okay, SA3 actually did some good damage there. SA1 I missed. Again, I'm playing it super safe here. We are good on time, though. Once I see a strong attack go off, we're going to just jump straight into it. Hopefully, we'll take damage here. Let me use my EX move. SA3. Oh, unfortunately, we missed Ichigo. That might have cost us the run a little bit. SA2 there. We haven't even got the SP boost. Oh, that sucks. See, I can't lie, it's difficult. It's difficult. We played that wrong there, though, I'll be honest. I should not have used the SP boost when I used it, and I also missed a few strong attacks there because I'm trying to play it too safe because I never take a hit, it's done. So let's make this our third and also final attempt. In this case, what we want to make sure we do, because this is the biggest problem that I kind of forgot, is that we need to finish the first 5 waves before Kensei reactivates his team boost, because once we go into the extra wave, we actually do lose the boost effect. So we need to actually finish up 5 waves before 30 seconds. Before 30 seconds remaining, pretty much. Let's use our 3 there. Into 1. Onto Ichigo. SA2. Into the 1. Pretty good damage there. Ichigo uses SA1 so we get to reapply the SP boost, or more so lacerate, which we didn't do, but he is locked onto us, so that's good. So you'll see it, right? We have 5 seconds, 3 seconds, and Kensei just used his boost there, so we did kill, which we have been doing, right? We're going to go into the extra waves with no team boost active for 40 seconds. And that pretty much is the reason why we are losing the extra wave. So even though I said it'd be my third and final attempt, let's retry that once more. This time knowing that, again, we have to clear before the team boost reactivates. All right, then here we go for our final attempts. At least I would hope so. SA1 into the 3. Lovely. Let's use our 2, then 1. Just so we can come back a little bit faster, because we actually can just straw bomb straight away here. All the big enemies do actually come back forward pretty quick like that. So there we go. SA2 into the 1. Back away. Once we see him use a strong attack, we'll go forwards. Like that, for example. SA3 into the 2. Into the 1. There we go. So 38 seconds remaining right now. It's actually going to be a new PB for me. But we also have no strong attacks here against Aizen. Can he come to me first? No, he can't. So unfortunately, Kensei's already taken a hit. But at least we get the team boost active in like 2 seconds. SA3 into the 1. Aizen's locked onto me. That's good. No, he's not anymore. He used a strong attack. Jump forward. SA2. We actually do hit Ichigo. SA3. There we go, nice. We're looking, I think, decent on time here, so we don't waste any strong attacks. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's use our 2. EX. SA1. We're going to wait for the attack. Now, man, I'm going forward. SA3. Into the 2. Really good damage there. It's close. SA1. Come on, Kensei. Finish it. There we go. It is very close on timing, but that one is a new PB. So 40 seconds remaining for the most part isn't too bad. We're rounding up here, but the GQ itself is very tough, even with Nemu, and that's just because the enemies have so much HP. And also, again, my biggest criticism with the character right now, you know, it's not the damage output. Damage output is fine. Keep in mind, by the way, Kensei is not a sniper, so we are actually losing out 10% strong attack damage by using Kensei. Very unfortunate, right? One of the main normal attack damage characters that you are using is just a hollow captain, so he actually doesn't give Nemu that 10% strong attack damage boost. If you had access to the new Ichigo, the Kubo playable R1, it becomes significantly easier because he's a really good team booster and also a sniper himself. But like I said, for me, the biggest criticism with Nemu right now is not the damage output. That is perfectly fine. It's not a problem whatsoever. It's the lack of mobility more so. Because you saw there in the X-ray specifically, I had to play it super safe. I didn't want to take a hit because if we did, the run's over. Had we been given extra flash steps, had we been given long stride built into the character's kit, it would have been a lot easier because I could have went in, damaged, and went instantly back out. Now, again, that can be fixed by giving the character a long stride bonus ability, but you are sacrificing damage output at the time. But we also do know we are going to be getting a really good con free-to-play EX ability that you definitely can use on Nemu if the character is a speed unit. And that will actually offer Berserker and also Long Stride, which is really good. So in a way, a free-to-play character can fix the problem that I have with Nemu for the time being. Or in the future, a new speed character can come out with an EX skill that offers Long Stride, Recharge, and Strong Attack damage, very similar to 1000-year Blood War Yoruichi. Next and last but not least, let's now take Nemu into Limit Breaker Quest, where right now we are using, I would like to say, one of the best teams that you can use. So slot 1 is designed for Nemu, so she is getting that 2 times speed damage, she's getting that 2 times melee damage, and also the 4 times killer effects. Even though Nemu's damage output, again, is nerfed outside of Guild Quest, as she only does have Frenzy +2, in Limit Breaker, it should be relatively fine because she does have Lacerate, and Lacerate is really good in this game mode because against the poise enemies that have millions of HP, the higher the HP, the more damage they take per Lacerate. So she should clear her hard stages relatively consistent. Slot 2 is designed for Byakuya, so we're getting that 2 times hard damage, 2 times range damage, and also 4 times killer effect, while also using a sniper, so Nemu's getting 10% more strong attack damage. Additionally, Byakuya is also giving us 30% more damage, which is also really good. And then lastly, we are using Aizen, another sniper, so 10% more strong attack damage for Nemu. And he's really good, again, against the poise enemies because he does have Dominate. So we have pretty much 2 characters relying on their stat elements to very easily deal with the high HP enemies. Alright then, so jumping into the quest, let's see how this does go. Now we have given every character here, besides Aizen, because he already has it built in, Long Stride. That's definitely a need with characters like this. Otherwise, you spend too much time flash stepping in between the stages. With a lot of recharge, you want to get into one wave, into the other. So in this case, we can go in SA3. Take down both waves there. And then go here, SA3. Lovely. So yeah, all characters here work well together. And just perform very well on their stages. With Nemu, what you're going to notice is that even though, again, she only has Frenzy 2 outside of Guild Quest, her damage output should be relatively fine. Because we are just going to apply Lacerate. And as you're seeing right now, it's dealing 500k per hit. And overall, that's like right now, 2 million damage. So our damage output, honestly, is not really that much of an issue in a Limit Breaker, at least when you're up against Hollows. But to be fair with these characters, you only ever want to use them when they have killer effects. With SA3. Byakuya still being really good here, inflicting the paralysis and also weakening. I do miss having double stat element. It is a nice combination to have. So hopefully in the future, maybe end of year, as it will be officially a year since we've had Stat Element Plus. Maybe Killer, but then ready to start giving double Stat Element Plus. Because I would really like to see that. Again, Aizen is a rarity this year where he released as a really good character. 2025 unit with only 2 Stat Elements, no Stat Element Plus. It's fine though. Because Drain and Dominate is a very good combination to have. Like, I kind of miss having a good stat element like Weakening or Freeze or Lacerate, and also having ways to get back up to full stamina. So that's one thing I would like to see at the end of the year or sometime next year. Because it's a really good combination. And right now, as you know, Killer Plus is the new thing. They only can inflict 1 stat element. And even now and then, every now and then when a character does have double stat elements, even as an end of month unit, it's still fine. Because it does still, they can still inflict stat elements on enemies that are inflicted with stat element plus. So let's say, for example, we were able to use these 3 characters together in one room. If Nemu inflicted Lacerate plus, it's not stopping Aizen from inflicting his stat element. So unfortunately here, didn't have a strong attack ready. But again, we're going to inflict stat elements here. Lacerate. Now we're dealing almost basically 800k per tick. That's basically 4 million damage because I believe it ticks 4 times on these enemies. So that's basically like an extra strong attack free. Because I think I'm seeing 1 million damage here on the strong attack free per hit. So the Lacerate is really making up for our damage here. I think we're looking good on time. That's SA1 upwards. Maybe if I move forward a bit, we can actually hit the enemies there. Gonna use our EX just to make sure that we can stay at full stamina because we are decently fine to the quest. And any hit unless on Aizen does cost us the run. Took us a while to get status procs on these enemies. That actually would have finished the room there with that strong attack, but we have to use at least 2 more, unfortunately, because some enemies just didn't want to get inflicted with stat elements. So let's use our 2 early. Then 1. Because we only need to use the EX move here. So we use our 3. Use our EX now. Then 2. So again, these enemies are just going to deal millions of damage to each other. We also have the barriers in take. We do take damage. SA2. Into the 3. A little bit more damage. There we go. So I'm a bit slower. I think I normally want to get to this stage in 1 minute and 20. But we can maybe make up for it in the Nemu stage. Because again, right now our goal is to get to 25. Which is right now still possible. It's going to be very close though. SA1. Aizen's damage output starts to fall off a little bit on these enemy stages. Because we can't entirely rely on the Dominate here. Because again, Aizen's technically not supposed to be used. But he does work. Wait for SA1. There we go. SA1 there. We'll use our 2. Does actually take out both enemies there. And then last wave of room with Aizen. Unfortunately, not the best. Let's use our SA2. Then 1. 30 seconds. Can we do it in 30 seconds? Let's find out. Unfortunately, not the best start because we have strong attacks missing. Let's Soul Bomb. Use our EX move. SA2. Into the 1. So right now, they're doing millions of damage per tick on that Lacerate. That's really good. SP boost is still active. Just wore off, but that's fine. SA2 into the 1. Last bit of normal attacks. There we go. And we do make it to stage at 25. So, yeah, Nemu's not too bad in Limit Breaker. Even though, again, I don't like that she is missing Frenzy +3 everywhere. Because we probably could have cleared a tad bit faster. But then again, the Lacerate adds so much damage. Like 21 seconds on stage 7, 31 on stage 16, 24 on stage 25. Truth be told, stage 16 was actually on the slower side. We still managed to get to 25, but 16 and 7 was actually slower somehow. So I feel like whenever they want you to bring a Holo Killer, maybe a melee Holo Killer in particular, even if it's not a speed enemy or power enemies that we are going against, Nemu should still be pretty good just to rely on the most of damage to Lacerate. And when you do a burst attack, when you use your EX move, maybe even Soul Bomb, you do start to clear the stage a lot faster. So yeah, overall, I think Nemu is a great addition to the game. I think if you are a fan of Nemu as a character and you've been waiting for this character since it got animated late last year, this character does do it justice in my opinion. She's not perfect though, like I already stated multiple times in the video and leading up to the character's release. I would have liked to have seen Frenzy +3 everywhere just because she's the only character released this month as a strong attack damage unit and also the norm for Limit Breaker characters because that's what she is. Nini and also Yachiru the month prior, even Renji. They all have Frenzy +3 everywhere. I thought that would be the norm. So even though it doesn't hurt her that much because the damage output's still good, it's still something that shouldn't have been there. The guild quest skills in particular. Does hold her back a tad bit, but that's more so holding her back from being an SS tier unit to instead being at the top of S tier. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it would have been nice. And me personally, like stated in the guild quest section, I would have liked to have seen more flash steps or long stride built in. That is fixable through bonus abilities and future EX skills, but it is a slight problem to have with the character right now. Other than that though, really cool unit, very excited to have her. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I do like this character. It was a big moment in the anime. I mean, that episode made me tear up. I liked this unit when she first initially released 5 years ago. It was again one of my few max transcendent characters when that was a new addition. So I'm happy with what we got, but again, the character was just a few skills away from being, in my opinion, perfect. Either way, let me know what you like to think about the character in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.